Welcome back to another episode of the Dope Sports Podcast, brought to you by dopecontent.com, as well as Get the Tables on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another week. As you see, we got the co-host Tony here from Get the Tables. Ladies and gentlemen, WWE fans, shout out to you. Noti Gang in the building. Got a couple of people watching on YouTube, so shout out to y'all that's here watching on YouTube. Got a quick, easy show for you today. We're going to talk NBA All-Star Weekend. As you see, the question asked, is NBA All-Star Weekend dead? XFL kicks off their third season, and more in sports. We got a little bit on the NFL, and we're going to play our choosing game. So this is a segment that I bring to all of my podcasts. And when it's dead season in sports, this is the perfect time to bring it to the sports podcast. I've been holding out up until this point because I knew it was going to be dead. So we're going to get right into it. But before we start the podcast, Tony, how's your day going? Hold on. Yeah, your volume is disappeared. Say something.
Hello?
Yes, now we can.
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Work, sleepy, and podcast. Then back to work.
Yeah, so, I hear you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm just tired. I don't even know what else to say, man. But we're not gonna waste time today. We're gonna have a good show. Hopefully the intro play. I should have checked it.
Fingers crossed.
I should have checked it, but we'll see. Let's get right into it. Sir, we are off to a good start. The intro played with no problem.
So, yeah.
We are off to a good start. WWE fan said I am tired as well. Hey, trust me, I understand. Today it was just rough waking up today, man. Like, it just felt like I was supposed to be off, even though it's Tuesday. So it just felt weird waking up today. But as you see, we are here to talk NBA All-Star Weekend. So just to give you a quick rundown, Damian Lillard did win a 3-point contest. Matt McClung, whoever that is, I know him from the internet dunks. I never knew his name until Saturday. But Matt McClung won the dunk contest, and he did a great job. Like, his dunks were spectacular. And then Team Giannis defeated Team LeBron 184 to 175. So that was All-Star Weekend in a nutshell. The Miz did hit a half-court shot, which I saw live. While I had on one screen, I had SmackDown on the other screen, so it was crazy. And I remember saying on the stream, I was like, we're never going to hear the end of the Miz hitting this shot. It didn't count, by the way, because it was after the buzzer, but he still made it. He got the steal, half-court shot, probably one of the best moments of the weekend. Did you see any of it, and what were your thoughts on All-Star Weekend?
I did not see a lot of the like the 3-point and the dunk. I did go back and watch the highlights of the dunk contest, which was pretty good. I thought Matt McClung, as he's the internet guy that does all the cool dunks, I thought he did a pretty good job. Kind of maybe bringing back the slam dunk contest because it's been kind of hit or miss for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you should have him in it next year. I mean, if he's not in the NBA, I mean, damn, some of the stuff he was pulling out was pretty crazy. 3-point shootout is what it is. It's always entertaining. 3-point shoot. I mean, they've changed it up a bit with the money balls and all this stuff like that, but it's still an entertaining contest. I mean, the All-Star game itself, man, it's lame, bro. I'm not into the All-Star game anymore. I'd rather just watch the side shows with the 3-point, the celebrity game. I mean, even the celebrity game is a bit more entertaining than the damn All-Star game because at least they try and play defense. All-Star game is a joke. You even have the NBA players criticizing it, coaches criticizing it. I don't know what else they can do because I know a lot of people are scared to get injured or whatever have you, but my goodness, man, watching that was just ridiculous. It was just like watching 5-year-olds play in a game. There's no defense, lanes wide open, shooting half-court jump shots, doing all sorts of stupid stuff in that game. I get it, it's a pickup game. They're not playing for really anything, just for our entertainment.
Yeah.
But my goodness, man, I remember the days when we were growing up in the mid-'90s, early 2000s when games actually meant stuff. They actually played hard against each other. They didn't let them just go in there and do dunks and layups. Yes, it happened. We would see some cool stuff happen in the game, but not like this. Not what we're getting now, where they're not even trying. It's just ridiculous. And Jason Tatum, congrats, scored the most points in All-Star game history. But that's not even an accomplishment when you're not even getting played on. I mean, you're not getting defended. You're not getting nothing going on you. That's not an accomplishment, man. That's nothing. You just took more shots than everyone else. I just I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what they can do to fix it other than to make it competitive. But man, the All-Star game's a joke, man.
Man, I completely agree. Look, this is the worst All-Star game I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
And look, last year people were complaining, this not. I'm like, well, at least in the fourth quarter they get competitive. When it get close to the end of the game. And that's what it's been the last 2 to 3 years. It'll be just, hey, you dunk, you shoot, all this, let's have fun. But in that last quarter, let's actually play and get the win. That didn't even happen this year.
No.
The last quarter started and they were still just walking around. I mean, nobody really cared. What's good, D-Well? When do the playoffs start? It's 23 games left in the season, so
it's about a month.
Yeah. Yeah, they just didn't care at all. Not even in the fourth at the end of the game. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this don't make any sense. I was expecting it to pick up. So it didn't bother me the first half, even the third quarter. It didn't bother me because I'm like, all right, fourth quarter, they pick up like they normally do. It didn't happen. Jason Tatum was just walking around. You had the best part was Jaylen Brown and Tatum going one-on-one for 4 possessions.
Yeah, that's the stuff you want to see, them actually play defense on each other. It's very rare nowadays, where you get teammates against each other, and then you have the best talent, quote unquote, in this NBA All-Star game. Sometimes they don't even play when they play against each other in the regular season.
Yeah.
So this is your time to watch them play one-on-one. Like back in the day, you would see Jordan getting matched up with everybody on the court, one-on-one, seeing if they can stop Jordan or Kobe or whatever have you. Those days are long gone, man. Yeah. It's just a joke now. They don't. It used to be something that I would look forward to every year, but now it's just like, well, whatever. I can miss it. I'm not missing anything.
Yeah. Dunk contest was actually pretty good, considering there's no stars. All the stars refused to do the dunk contest. Ja Morant said he would never do it. LeBron, back in the day, all the way up to now, never did it. And this is why people who love Kobe and Jordan, this is why they steady hate on LeBron, because of just stuff like that. It's like you're not competitive enough. You're BSing around doing the All-Star game, which LeBron is 38. I get it. You know what I'm saying? He's been to 20 All-Star games. I get it. Yeah, right? Let the younger guys do their things. He's always a captain. Let the younger guy. But LeBron was putting on the show early, and then he, decided to sit out. So I got to give him that. At least he was out there dunking, and trying to shoot half-court three. He wanted to be a three-point shooter so bad. It's like, this is not you. But, I mean, he at least put on some type of show in the first half. So I give him that. But young LeBron would never enter the dunk contest. I know why he wouldn't do it. People like to say, or he like to say, well, it's because he wasn't named to All-Star in his rookie season, so he was pissed off at the NBA and decided, well, since I'm not an All-Star in my rookie season, I'm not entering the dunk contest. I personally think it's because he know he's not a flashy dunker like that to be in the dunk contest. He's a power dunker. That can every now and then he'll hit you with some windmills and between the legs. But if you watch his high school dunk contest, which he should have lost, by the way, he only won because he was LeBron James. He's not that flashy of a dunker. So I think that's the real reason why he decided not to ever get in the NBA, because he felt like he'll lose and he'll be embarrassed. That's just me. That's just my opinion. He can say whatever he want. I'm just giving you my opinion on. But a lot of people after LeBron did that was like, I'm not getting in the dunk contest. I'm a star. I'm too big of a star for the dunk contest, and that's trash to me.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron is not a slam dunk contest guy. I mean, he's more of he's a power dunker. He's not going to throw up creative stuff that we have seen, like with the last couple of dunk contests with Aaron Gordon and all them with those creative dunks. LeBron's more of a power dunker, dunks on people type deals. I mean, he was in the slam dunk contest when he was in high school, but I mean, he
should have lost.
I just don't see it that big of a deal. If these guys don't want to be in it, so be it. They're obviously not in it for for their own reasons. And if they don't want to be in it, gives other guys the opportunity to be in it. The guys that you won't ever see in an All-Star game festivities. I get what you're saying, and it'd be cool to see like a Ja Morant or even LeBron or even some of these other stars in the dunk contest. But those days are long gone. Vince Carter and all them. I mean, they have a different mindset now in the NBA. So yeah, we're not going to see any of these big time stars in there because they have a chance of losing and they don't want to lose.
And that's the same with the All, but it's now starting to affect the actual All-Star game, where nobody wants to compete, and everybody is sitting here saying, "Oh well, it's just All-Star break. Nobody wants to get injured." It's been how many years of the NBA All-Star where they competed and nobody got hurt? So what's they're professionals. They know how to play without injuring each other. They know how to do that. They've been doing this their whole lives. They know how to do it, and it's been done. So the day, it's just simple fact that we got to face the days of Jordan, Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Kobe, KG, people legit that want to win. That it's just over. Nobody wants to compete anymore. Everybody just want to laugh. Luka didn't have any interest. He didn't even want to be there. Luka was ready to go. They asked him before the game, "What are you looking forward to?" He's like, "When I get off and go to get on my plane and go to Mexico. Luka is tired. Luka didn't want to be there at all. Giannis is injured, so Giannis did his dunk, took himself out. LeBron took himself out second half. Like, but nobody wants to compete anymore. Like back in the days with T-Mac and all these guys, they wanted to compete. Michael Finley, like you don't see that no more. Like it's the time we live in. Even in the NFL, we talked about the Pro Bowl being trash. They didn't completely turn that into a flag game, 7-on-7 flag game. Which, I mean, I kind of get it because the NFL, the players are getting faster, they're getting stronger, they're hitting harder, and that's a physical game. So I can understand that. I'll let that slide, but I still think it's better ways to do it. The NBA, I don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't like the trend. Nothing about it is positive to me. I don't like it. And as far as a dunk contest, just bring in all the street dunkers. Those are the best dunkers in the world anyway.
Yeah.
Because they can't do nothing else but dunk. Bring in all street dunkers. We don't want to see players from a team that we don't know. We don't know none of these players. I knew Kenyon Martin Jr. because of his dad.
Right, exactly. Bring in guys that, that are known for their dunking abilities. These YouTubers, these guys on Twitter, these guys that they're not in the league, the G Leaguers. The G League dunk contest is better than the NBA dunk contest because the guys are more creative. They actually try. They actually want to win. And that's why we saw some of these dunks that we got today. Because, I mean, the best dunk contest we've had since, obviously Carter and all them was Aaron Gordon and Levine. Yeah. Them going back and forth. McClung did some cool, interesting, creative dunks Saturday. Yeah. And if they want to put the G Leaguers in with the NBA dunk contest, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'd rather just have street dunkers and G League people because those are the guys that's actually putting in effort. The people you see on the internet with these crazy dunks, these are the guys that should be in the dunk contest. But Dynamite said they can't for some reason. Yeah, they can. They can always figure it out. Now, before we get off the NBA, another big issue and big topic for All-Star Weekend has been load management. You got people like Anthony Edwards saying, I don't agree with it. If you're at least 80% healthy, 85% healthy, I think you should play because some of these people can only afford one ticket or tickets to one game, and that'll be the one game that you decide to sit out. Right. And then Silver, who, if I remember correctly, wasn't a few years ago he was like, he's going to do something to change load management because he didn't like it. Yeah. And now he's all of a sudden saying, I don't see a problem with load management. What?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't even know if they could put this in a rule, but if you play a team once a year, I think you should have your teams play.
So East versus West.
For example, so for example, if the Mavericks, they only play the Bulls once in Chicago, I think they should have to play every player, regardless if it's load management or not. Obviously, they play the Spurs more than once a year. They play all these other Western Conferences teams more than once a year. So, their audience have an opportunity to see Luka or whoever more than the teams in the East. So I think if you're an East team, you must play your team against the West. I think it's only fair that way because then you'll get then you won't have the chances of the young players, a young fan going to see Steph Curry or LeBron and they're sitting. Yeah. At least hey, they have to at least play a certain amount of time, a quarter. They can have a minute. To where they only have a certain amount of minutes they can play in that game, but have them at least play. I think that's at least fair.
Yeah, if they're healthy, have them play. I mean, like if it's Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, especially like if you're a team like the Lakers, and people pay to see LeBron, and LeBron decided to sit out 3 games after his scoring time, after getting the scoring.
Exactly. Yeah, record. I mean, I think that's the only way you can really prevent things because we're obviously, we're both our teams are in the West. Yeah. So I have an opportunity to see Luka more than the teams in the East. Right. So I feel like if you want to add that to where, hey, you got to play your guys at least a certain amount of minutes, or at least have them play or suit up, so they can play because it's not fair. to the fans that pay $1,000 to $2,000 for these tickets to see their favorite player.
Yeah,
because that's what almost happened with when LeBron was doing his own chase for the history for the points.
mm-hmm.
The game was in Oklahoma. People were spending up to $2,000-$3,000 for that game to see LeBron possibly break the record, and
no refunds either.
there was a chance of him not playing.
Yeah,
and what happens if he doesn't play? You don't get your money back. They don't lessen the blow of the ticket because you already paid for it.
yeah.
So they have to do something. There's got to be ways they can fix that, and there is. It's just if they want to do it or not.
Yeah, Steven said,
regardless or not, they're still going to get their money.
You're right. Steven said he liked the contest on Saturday way more than he do the game on Sunday. Facts.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, facts. Scooby, what's good, man? He say don't make me upset. But yeah, we talking about load management, man. That's a big topic, and I'm all like, I think Kawhi. People blame LeBron for that too. But I think Kawhi is the main guy behind that load.
Yeah, they blame the Spurs. The Spurs are the whole instigators of the whole resting players. They did it. They were the first to do it. Pop would have load management for Duncan and Parker and Monty. The famous one was when they sat all their starters against Miami, and that's when the NBA started having an uproar of load management and not playing your stars. You can blame Pop. That's fine. But Kawhi was the main focal point of load management, of sitting out whenever the fuck you wanted because he had a quote unquote injury. So Spurs abide by that rule, and they sat him, and what happened? He still wanted to get out of here because we didn't listen to him or whatever have you. Let's not go that route. But I just don't feel I don't feel like I feel for the young fans because they idolize these guys.
Yeah.
And the parents of these kids probably save and fight and save every penny they have to take them to a game. And then nothing hurts more to tell your son or daughter or whoever have you, hey, LeBron's not going to play tonight. Yeah. And that breaks their heart, man. This ruins their whole night. So they got to figure something out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kawhi just took it, and he took it to another level. Even in LA, he just sits out. He lets. If you're an LA fan, Kawhi is going to sit at least 40 games of the year before the season even starts. And it's just, they accept it. As long as he good by the playoffs, that's all they care about. So that's it. Just a couple of updated things on the NBA before we move on. Russell Westbrook has been brought out from the Utah Jazz. He's going to the Clippers, which I said last week. That's what I wanted him to do. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's a bad move.
For who?
For the Clippers.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, we'll see.
No,
we'll see.
Good
luck with that.
They play LA. I forgot the exact date, but it's next month, so it's going to be a great game. It's going to be televised. Patrick Beverley's been brought out by Orlando, and he's going to to the Chicago Bulls. He gets on the podcast and say, "Oh, it was either Golden State or Chicago, but the East is kind of weak, so I want to do my playoff push here in Chicago." And I was like,
"What
Pat,
a fool!"
Pat just say whatever, man. Like, this is.
Why would you risk going to Chicago instead of winning a possible title? Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. He might get more minutes in Chicago. That's probably about it.
Yeah, because Lonzo has been shut down for the year officially today as well.
But goddamn, what a foolish statement to make. He ain't no damn Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant that's gonna dominate the East and make the Bulls all of a sudden a title contender. Get the F out of here, bro. Like, he may add a little bit of a spark because of his feistiness on defense and him just the way he is. But this God, I don't understand that comment at all. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's Pat Bev being Pat Bev, saying the East is weak when the East has actually been better than the Western Conference this year as far as their top four teams. So yeah, good luck, Pat Bev, when you run up against Boston and Milwaukee. And even though I don't believe in the 76ers, the 76ers are still better than the Bulls. Miami Heat is better than the Bulls. So, good luck, Pat Bev. That's all I can say to you. Let's keep it moving. We got the XFL, ladies and gentlemen. And third time is a charm is what I named it because this is the third season I don't know what those two pop-up things just happened on my screen. OBS is updated, so it's just doing things on their own. But third time's a charm, question mark, because this is the third season. I really hate that 2019, 2020 COVID hit, because I felt like the XFL was putting out good quality. It was way better than the original XFL as far as football. And they were putting on good games. And COVID hit, and it ended the season, ended the whole XFL. So I guess this is a good and bad thing, because it was good for The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, because him and his ex-wife, which is weird, we're going to get into that, Danny, they are living out their dreams that they made before they got married, being involved with professional football. So he got his ex-wife involved, even though he's married again, so we can live out our dreams that we planned, and we're going to run the football league. I don't know how he makes that work. The Rock is a player for real. I don't know how he makes that work, because him and Danny are still a little friendly on the field. But anyway, the Renegades, Roughnecks, Battlehawks, and Defenders all pick up wins in week 1 of the XFL. We had 2 comebacks. The Renegades were down in the second half, scored 14 unanswered points. The Arlington Renegades, I almost said Dallas. And they came back to beat the Vipers 22-20, the Vegas Vipers, who have Martavius Bryant from Pittsburgh. I don't know if you remember that wide receiver there. They had a couple other people. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to go into it. And then the Houston Roughnecks, who were the favorites to win in 2019-2020, they beat the Guardians 33-12, dominated that game. The Battlehawks and your San Antonio Brahmas. San Antonio was winning the whole game, gave up 15 unanswered points. Battlehawks came back, took over and won at the end. San Antonio is the only team that lost at home this weekend. And it was announced that the Alamo Dome will host the XFL Championship. So shout out to San Antonio for that as well. The DC Defenders, one of the top teams from the last XFL, they take out the Sea Dragons 22-18. Pretty good crowd in DC, pretty good crowd in San Antonio as well. Did you catch any of the games?
I did. I watched the San Antonio one, as I wanted to see the amount of people that went to the game.
Yeah. And
they showed up. San Antonio supports, man. They support their XFL. They haven't supported what was the one that went down before this? Was it that the AFL? What was it? The one that died out in the middle of the season last time they tried to do a football league. Can't remember
No, it's not. I was about to say USFL, but they still here.
I can't remember what it was, but they showed up for
AFL,
that too.
I think.
AFL or something around those lines.
Yeah.
We had 24,000 people show up.
Nice.
So that's pretty huge. I enjoy it. The rules of it are a lot different.
Yeah.
I like how they do the kickoff, because you actually get a kickoff.
Right.
I
Save injuries
don't mind.
too.
Yeah, I don't mind the convert on 4th and 15 for a onside kick. I think that's kind of creative as well, because onside kicks, I mean, the chances of you recovering that are very slim.
Right.
The 1 foot in, I'm not big of a fan of the college rule where they can only have to have 1 foot in. I think that's a bit. I'm not really a big fan of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought the XFL is it's a good alternative for the NFL while the NFL is out of season.
Mm-hmm.
They still got former NFL players in the league. McCarron, Martavius Bryant, a couple of other players as well that are former. Yeah, Ben DiNucci out there. They have former NFL players, and coaches. So it's like it's a legit league. It's not one of these leagues that are just put together last minute and they have no structure or anything like that. They're a very structured league.
Yeah.
And then having The Rock be the owner, he's not gonna fail. He's gonna do everything he can to make this a success, because Rock's is not a failure.
Right.
He makes everything that he has a success, with his tequila to his or his Noah or Zoa energy drinks. Everything he makes or touches turns into gold.
Yeah.
So I can only expect that the XFL is going to continue to strive. The only thing they need to worry about is attendance and how they can keep attendance, and these teams fans interested in the games, because obviously not every team's gonna win and have a successful season.
Right.
So that's the only thing you have to worry about when these teams are 0-4 or 0-5 and they're not doing very well.
Yeah.
Attendance is gonna take a hit. So that is the one way that The Rock is gonna have to think of something to make people come out to the games. If he does like a meet and greet at the arenas or something like that to bring fans in, because he made his rounds around Texas.
I was about to say that's pretty much what he did this weekend.
Yeah, he went to Arlington, he went to Houston, and he went to San Antonio. So he made his rounds around Texas.
They showed up in DC too.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't know that.
I know Danny did, and she was at all 4 of them. So if she did, I'm pretty sure he was there too.
So I think that's what The Rock's gonna have to do. Think of this creative ways to keep attendance at a reasonable level. Obviously, they're not gonna get crazy amounts of attendance. You never know. But hey, I'm glad San Antonio showed up, because we've been robbed of NFL teams many times, because Mr. Jerry Jones up in Dallas doesn't want us to have a team for whatever reason. So I'm glad they showed out. Then we're going to get the Super Bowl of the XFL championship game here. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm curious to see how it goes and how successful they are this year.
Scooby Snacks, they on ESPN and ABC. That's who they got their deals with.
Yeah, they're on the heavy hitters. Yeah, they're on the big time channels.
And make sure y'all follow Scooby as well, man. If you're not following him on Twitch, make sure you follow him as well.
He has the dope beats, no pun intended.
Yeah. Scooby, I got some tracks I'm gonna sing you from a couple of my homies too, by the way, so you can check out on your stream. So I watched 3 of the 4 games. Games, and it was good. It was good, but I felt like last year, well, not last year, but the second go around, if we just comparing week to week 1 for 2019-2020 XFL was better than this year's, as far as like football quality, the crowd, and all of that. So I think people are scared or nervous to come out and spend money, because they feel like, well, we did this is our 3rd time doing this. We don't want to spend money, then it's gone again.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. All of you are skeptical on supporting a team that has not lasted a full season. But like I said, I feel like The Rock, he's not gonna make this a failure. He's gonna do everything he can to make this a success. And I know they got the USFL. Is that what it is? Right? Yeah. Still coming up soon to compete, I guess, quote unquote, with the XFL.
They did a great job in promoting.
Yeah, they did a good job last season too. They went through a whole season. They actually lasted. They actually bringing it back another year. So yeah, they're a little bit ahead of XFL right now. So XFL has to actually show people that, one, they're a legit football league, 2, that they're going to last more than 1 season, and 3, they're going to bring in attendance. I know USFL didn't do like high numbers in attendance.
It was horrible.
There was games where there was maybe like 1,000 people there.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But again, it's going to be interesting to see. The number one thing with the XFL is viewership, which I don't know what the ratings were like, and the attendance, keeping people interested in the XFL. And the good thing with the XFL too is that they're bringing, other than a couple of cities, they're bringing in football into cities that don't have nothing.
Right.
Like San Antonio, other than the Spurs, we don't have really anything. St. Louis, other than the Cardinals, they don't got really anything else.
And they've been thirsty for a football team.
Exactly.
They showed that last time.
So they're bringing them into cities that are hungry for football. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Don, what's good? So let's go ahead. I guess we can start making predictions for next week. It's only 4 games because it's only 8 teams. So next week we got St. Louis taking on Seattle in Seattle. St. Louis is 1-0. Seattle is 0-1. Who you got?
From what I saw, St. Louis looks pretty damn good. They got Ricky Prohl too, man. Little Ricky Prohl on that team. They got McCarron on there as the quarterback. I like what I saw from St. Louis. I'm gonna go St. Louis.
Yeah, I think Seattle is the worst team in the league. just like they were the first time they brought Seattle. But we'll see. It's Seattle first home game. DC versus Vegas in Vegas.
I didn't see any of these two teams play, so I really can't really judge on who's better. But I'll just go Washington or DC, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it's funny they got a better name than the Washington Commanders, DC Defenders. I take DC.
I actually like that name. Yeah, Commanders. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, so I got DC as well. DC was a great team the last time around as well, and they looked great this past weekend. Your team, San Antonio, 0-1, taking on 0-1 Orlando.
I'm gonna go San Antonio. They should have won last weekend.
The Guardians.
They really should have.
San Antonio is favored by 3. Orlando's first home game because they was in Tampa last time, so this is Orlando's first team. You do have Hines Ward as a coach. I like your coach better, so I'm gonna take San Antonio as well. Oh, this was the last game I went to before COVID hit. Renegades versus Roughnecks. This was a big game before COVID hit. They in Houston though.
I'll go Roughnecks.
Unfortunately, I would have to go with Roughnecks as well. I think the Roughnecks are still the best team, even though they don't have PJ Walker no more and all those people that they had last time. Roughnecks look good. I still think they are the best team. And yeah, that's the XFL. Hopefully, man, we can do a full season of it. Championship. I'll come down there and we could go to a game or something.
We go to the game. LA don't have a team, but if you think about it, it's probably smart they don't have a team because there's so much to do in LA, man.
Yeah, nobody showed up to their games.
You got the Lakers right now still playing.
It's not a sports city though.
I mean, you again to support a XFL team, nah, it wouldn't have worked out. No way in hell.
New York was bad, was horrible in attendance. I am rooting for Arlington. Just because I picked them to lose don't mean I'm not rooting for them.
Have you been to a game before? XFL game?
Yeah, I went to the last home game before COVID took them out. And that was
how was that?
It was the Renegades versus
I know it's
Roughnecks.
different. I know it's different ownership now, but did you actually enjoy yourself?
It was a great game. Because first of all, the Roughnecks were undefeated at the time, and we only had one loss. So that was like the game of the weekend to the two top teams. So the crowd, Houston fans was down here. And then Dallas fans showed up because it was a big game. So I was shocked by the attendance. Like the attendance you saw this past weekend was nothing compared to what it was the last game I went to. I actually, if I still had a video in my phone, I will send it to you so you can see it. But it was a big game, man. It was a good game. So
all right, I'm looking forward to it. I want to go to a game. I'm not sure how much tickets are.
It's like $25 starting.
So yeah, I'm definitely probably parking's more expensive than a ticket probably. So
I don't even think parking is like that no more.
I hope not. Shit. But yeah, I want to go check out a game. I wanted to go to this game on Sunday, but I just kind of lost track.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to check out a game because I've been dying for football in San Antonio for the longest time, and we've had our opportunities, but never really came through. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that XFL lasts.
Yeah. They are desperate to get tickets for this Orlando game because tickets are starting as low as $8.
Wow.
For San Antonio versus Orlando. Everybody else is $28, $25, and then Vegas, because Vegas don't show up like that, it's $15.
Okay.
So
that's not too bad.
But yeah,
it's not bad, man. That's definitely affordable.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you before we move on. If they do add, if they go another year, what do you think they add? Maybe more cities?
2 years minimum.
Okay.
I think they do one more year with these teams just to kind of build revenue first, and then they'll add maybe like 2 more. But they've already tried New York and LA, and the crowd did not show up at all for those teams.
Yeah, they need to go to cities that have nothing going on. Like absolutely, like maybe like Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Or very heavy college cities or states that don't have NFL. Alabama, that could be one. They definitely have the cities to choose from.
So what's crazy, I found out yesterday I should say, that all the teams live and practice here. They only go to
I
their
didn't know that.
cities. They only go to their cities during the game, like game day.
Oh, okay.
So Seattle and St. Louis, they're all here practicing in Arlington, and they live in Arlington. And some of the teams practice at the district that I work for, Northwest ISD. And I was like, so
wow.
they all stay here during the week and then they just leave on game days? He's like, yeah, it's a cheaper option to do it that way. And that's the easiest way to pay everybody. We fly them out on game day.
Shit.
So,
there you go. Hey, whatever.
Yeah, hey, whatever it worked. So shout out to the XFL. Hopefully he gets to continue. We kind of went over the NFL a little bit, but let's get right into it. Eric Bieniemy is now the offensive coordinator from the Chiefs. He is now the coordinator of Washington. You got DeAndre Hopkins most likely on the move from Arizona. Jalen Ramsey most likely on the move from LA. ESPN is steady talking about the Cowboys. What they gonna do with Zeke? What they gonna do with Pollard? Me personally, I already said this before, and I hate to say it again because I love both of those guys. But with Pollard coming off that injury, with Zeke being washed and costing as much as he's gonna cost, and we have Diggs contract, CD contract, and Parsons contract coming up in the next year or two, I gotta let both running backs go. It's just what it is. I gotta let both of them go. Get some young guys that can run, and then build a team. Because most likely you're not getting rid of Dak. Build a team around Dak and bring in some weapons. That's what I would do. But Pollard and Zeke can both go. Honestly, they're sitting there talking about franchise tagging a running back coming off a broken ankle for $10 million when you're already $7 million over the cap. That's just stupid to me. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it.
There's a lot of questions to be answered with Dallas in the offseason.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they do with the whole Pollard and Zeke situation. I know Zeke said he'll take a pay cut.
Maybe.
And and I can see why you'd be kind of hesitant to sign Pollard to a long-term deal.
I wouldn't even give him the franchise tag.
When he's coming off an injury like that, like the one that he suffered. Definitely can understand that, but I don't know, man. Unless you feel like you can get a running back in the draft, which you could, definitely possible. It's very a risky move, a little bit, in my opinion. But
look at all the teams that's won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years. Name one team that's paying a running back more than $8 million.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Fournette's getting. So
I think Fournette. Well, I'm gonna have to go back and check. I think it was like 7 when at the time.
I know he got paid after the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if you want to go that route, I'm not totally against it because, like you said, you can probably pick up someone cheaper in the free agency or maybe even
draft
someone. Bijan Robinson's probably one that you could probably aim for. I don't think he lasts to Dallas though.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
But definitely could give it a shot. I think the big question is how Eric Bieniemy does, because everyone has never really given this man credit in Kansas City. It's all been going to pretty much Andy Reid.
I hate that move.
And he's had opportunities at becoming a coach, and whatever reason, I don't know if he's just a bad interviewer or what. He's never gotten the opportunity to coach, and now he's, I guess, trying to say, hey, I'm going to prove myself that this is not Andy Reid. It's me. Why we're being a successful in Kansas City. Moving to Washington, where he's losing like 95% of weapons that he had in Kansas City, where you don't even know who the quarterback is in Washington. That's a risky move for Eric, and I know they're adding like so many incentives for him, and more than likely he'll be the next coach for Washington if Rivera doesn't last, which
he should be.
Which I could see why he would probably make that move, because you don't know, like probably the same with him for Kansas City. Like, hey, if Reid retires tomorrow, more than likely we'll name you the coach. But with Andy Reid, why would he have any reason to retire anytime soon with the success that he's having in Kansas City? And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I can see why Eric is like, all right, let me go out. Maybe I can do some wonders with Washington, and maybe someone who needs a coach the following year maybe picks me up, or they fire Rivera and they have him. I know he has like a little bit more control, or more say with the offense in Washington. I believe that in his contract they added a lot of stuff into his contract to give him a lot more control than he did in Kansas City. But this is a risky move for Bieniemy, and if he does well and makes Washington some like high-powered offense, you got to give him his props, man.
Yeah, I hate this move for everything you just said. Because one, I feel like he should have a head coaching job, and he's not getting the credit he deserves. Two, I don't think it's a good look for him to go to Washington. You leave KC and go to Washington, which Washington is an S show. I'm gonna try to keep it PG today. Washington is an S show.
Yeah, they
and are. Like, you have your head coach who should be fired. By the way, I said this during the season because he decided to play Carson Wentz when they needed one game to win a playoff, and they lost the last two because he played Carson Wentz. Actually, they beat Dallas when Dallas rested their last game, but it don't matter. They played Carson Wentz when he should have played him. Gibson is, I don't know if he's happy or not. Sometimes he's happy, he's not, and sometimes he's not happy. McLaurin is pretty much your only receiver there. You know, it's going to be tough for him. But if he turns out to be as good as some of us think he is, then it's going to make Washington better, which as a Dallas fan, I got to deal with.
Bruh.
So yeah. I don't want to deal with it. I hated the move all the way around. But if he feels like he can do something in Washington, so be it. I don't even care.
Yeah, this is just I think this is just him trying to prove himself.
Yeah, I would have went anywhere else. I would have went anywhere else besides Washington. Like, the way, yeah, okay, hey, okay, whatever. DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Ramsey, you think they're getting moved? And if so, Byron Jones is also a cap casualty in Miami. So where do you think these guys might end up?
Man, no clue. You would have to think if they get released, they're going to probably try and aim for a team that's a contender. So Hopkins, he could land with the Chiefs. I mean, that would be a good pickup for the Chiefs.
If they got the
Hopkins over there. I mean, he would have to sign for cheap, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe Buffalo, add another weapon there. It's hard to say right now to see where Hopkins lands. Maybe Dallas. Dallas could use him too. So
Dallas
it's just
can't
like
afford nobody.
Yeah. So it's like, obviously Hopkins and Arizona are on bad terms, and now they got a new coach, and they're probably in a rebuild. So why would you want to stay at this time of your career where your career is kind of coming close to an end? You want to try and get that title. So yeah, maybe a contender. I don't know. It's tough to say. I would say if he was going to go to anyone, it'd be a team that's on the brisk of winning it all. So maybe like if somehow the Chiefs can make a move or make some room in the cap, the Chiefs or Buffalo, maybe Cincinnati. I don't know. It's tough to say, honestly, because I got to see who and what moves everyone else makes in the offseason and in the draft.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, I mean, he would be a treat for anybody. I know he's kind of a head case at sometimes, but he's still a top corner in the NFL. So you're probably gonna think who needs a shutdown corner to help them out. Maybe Philly, maybe if they can afford them, or again, teams like Kansas City, Buffalo, top contenders in the league. You gotta consider them favorites to land him. So again, these guys are gonna go to maybe the Ravens. Yeah,
getting rid of Marcus Peters most likely.
Yeah, you gotta assume that guys like these two of their stature who are coming to near the end of their career, they're not going to sign with a team like the Browns or the Texans or something like that. They're going to go to a team that is a player or two away from winning it all. And you can't blame them. They're chasing a ring, and you really can't blame them from doing that.
If I'm Ramsey, I don't know what their salary cap looking like. I would have to go check. But I'll consider the Chargers. Same stadium. They already got Derwin James, Asante Samuel, your Florida State teammates. They still got Jason Jackson coming back. You
agree. You know who else? Cincinnati. Get rid of fucking Eli Apple and get Ramsey. Imagine that. That would be a huge pickup for them.
Yeah, does Ramsey want to play in the cold though?
That's true. Oh, breaking news: the Bucks sign ex-Dallas running backs coach Skip Pete.
Oh, okay. Good job for y'all. Yeah, good job. I don't even have a hand clap. There you go.
There you go. Hey,
good job.
Hey.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Okay, more power to the Bucks. You can have them. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the NFL, man. So we're gonna bring in a segment that I do on pretty much all my podcasts that I do. We do it on wrestling every now and then with Dark. Now, since we have downtime in the NFL and NBA, and it's just kind of dead right now, let's bring in a choosing segment to the Dope Sports Podcast. Let's get right into it.
All right.
Yes, sir. The choosing segment. Ted FX. What's good, man? Appreciate the follow. Now, this is the segment where I give different scenarios. It could be football. It could be any sports related. It could be food. It could be TV shows. It's just random. Let's see what Tony choose. Let's start off with sports since we're on the sports podcast. Which running back are you taking, Clinton Portis or Ty Gurley in their prime?
I'll go Clinton Portis.
I think I agree. Yep. Peyton Manning or John Elway?
Oh man. John Elway could beat you in other ways in his arm, but I'm gonna go Peyton. It's hard to pick over Peyton, man.
I mean, they both won.
Peyton is like Peyton. I don't know how is not a coach yet. This dude lives and breathes football. I feel like Peyton is just a mastermind.
Yeah, he is a smarter quarterback, but jeez, man. I'm gonna take Elway because Elway can do it on his feet and pass.
Yeah, he was more athletic than Peyton for sure.
But Peyton is definitely the smarter quarterback in my opinion. Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, Vick all day.
What?
Vic all day.
What up, Bobarooski? He said that with ease too. I got Lamar. Lamar has done more with less talent around him. Vic has always had type 1,000-yard running back, Warwick Dunn, and then he went to the Eagles. He had Shady McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin. Lamar's never had anybody like that.
That's his bad organization. Organization not applying weapons for your quarterback.
But look, Lamar won MVP with less people.
Also less injury prone.
Lamar's been hurt one time.
Lamar has missed a lot of games in his career, and that's one of the reasons why Ravens are second guessing giving him a long-term contract,
and they gonna regret it too.
And then I don't know. I just like Vic, man. I would pick Vic. Take off the his out of football stuff that he did.
Yeah.
Vic was an unbelievable player.
Vic better passer and runner. He's a better passer, but he's definitely he's not a better runner. I used to think that too, but he's not a better runner. Lamar got him on running. So he's already passed all the Vic records running the ball. So yeah, Ted, stop. Let's go to food real quick since we're both in Texas. Popeyes or Church's Chicken?
Ooh, Popeyes, man. Church's Chicken is too bland, bro. Popeyes is where it's at. Vic was the Madden cheat code.
Yeah, in 2004 when
dude, you could run him around the field. Just throw the ball. Yeah,
but they did the same with what's his name, Lamar 2 years ago, and everybody was complaining about it because Lamar had this thing called escape artists where they just literally just run. And he'll shake everybody. So it's both ways.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that food one at you real quick. I asked this when Dark was on the Budget Cut podcast, but I'm gonna ask you this too. Who has the best sauce game? Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, or Wendy's?
Sauce game.
Yes. So overall, if you only had one restaurant to get sauce from out of those four.
Chick-fil-A, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
You can't beat that Polynesian sauce, bro.
Yeah. Dark and push play was like F Chick-fil-A. So,
wow, really?
Yeah, I was a little shocked by that one.
Which one did they pick? Wendy's?
I think it was either Wendy's or Popeyes. I know I picked Popeyes.
Popeyes isn't bad. Like, they got some good stuff, but
yeah,
Chick-fil-A all the way, man.
All right. Let's get back to the sports. Marshall Faulk or LaDainian Tomlinson?
Oh, man. Marshall Faulk was a little bit underrated, man. I'm going to go Marshall Faulk.
I think he was underrated, but LT was the truth. LT
he was.
like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, LT can do everything Faulk can and do it a little bit better. So
okay, I'll give you that. I just saw Faulk a lot more because when he was with the Rams, he was just so dominant. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. I'll go with Faulk, though.
Yeah, I got LT. Hold on, people are texting
He
my
owned
phone.
his jersey, huh? Okay.
Oh, yeah?
What's up, Champas?
Chompers was good, man. I call him chump ass. What's good? Charles Woodson or Rod Woodson?
Charles.
Okay, you said there was no hesitation. Okay, I'm with you on that.
Rod is like nothing against Rod Woodson. He was just more. I think he's more known for his hits more than his actual play. Charles Woodson, man, he was a shutdown corner at one time.
Yeah, Charles was a beast, and then they both went to safety. And I think Charles was a better safety than Rod as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm bringing this one up because Isaiah Thomas had some comments about Steph Curry recently.
Isaiah Thomas, as in the Detroit Piston player?
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas versus Steph Curry. Who you got?
Oh, Steph. No doubt. No disrespect to Isaiah Thomas. Great point guard. But no, Steph Curry.
Okay. I think Isaiah is underrated as far as point guard GOAT conversation, but I will take Steph over Isaiah.
I know he did play on one foot in that finals game.
Yeah.
But I would still have to go with Steph Curry.
Yeah, I think Isaiah deserves a little more credit in the GOAT conversation as far as point guard goes, but I would still take Steph over Isaiah as well. Isaiah said if Steph played in his era, that he would average like 14 points a game.
He might be right.
I don't even think he said 14. I think it was less than that. I might be generous here, but
well, he might be right because the NBA was a totally different game back when Isaiah played. I mean,
first of all,
they would knock you on your ass, beat you up. I mean, it totally different ball game there.
Steph don't have to go to the paint. That's the difference. Steph shooting from half court back then, so it wouldn't
that's
matter.
True. That's true.
They can't touch him.
I feel like defense now is so fucking soft that they wouldn't allow him to even get close to taking shots like from half court without being contested. Defense was totally different back in the day. They guarded you from end of court to back and forth. They would just not let you just dribble it up from half court and then just let you shoot it. They were on you once you got that ball. So I feel like he might be right. 14 points maybe is a little bit.
It might have been less. I think I'm being generous. I'm gonna have to find that exact quote, but I think I'm being generous with that.
Imagine Curry getting guarded by, like in their primes, a Jordan, a Scottie Pippen, guys like that were on you from start to finish.
I mean,
I don't think he would have scored average 30 points a game. No freaking way.
Oh, he said he wouldn't average more than 18 points a game. Okay,
I could see him averaging like 18. But look how many he would probably have to take a shitload of shots. Defense was such a different aspect in the game when we were growing up, and this.
It
was
like
different. The Knicks were successful not because of their offensive games. They had good players, but what were they known for? Their defense. Detroit kept Chicago down for so many years because of their defense and how rough and tough they were in the paint and how they would knock you on your ass.
This the thing. Steph is not a mid-range shooter. He's not where he is, but he wouldn't have to go to mid-range.
He would have to
and
eventually
to get his points.
He would have to eventually if they're stopping him from shooting.
What you think made Reggie Miller so great? How many points Reggie Miller averaged?
Yeah, but Reggie Miller also came off screens.
That's what Steph do.
Yeah, but Steph is also a guy that he needs the ball in his hands as well.
No, he don't.
I see what you mean about Steph could come off screens.
No, he don't.
And take 3 points like that. But
that's all Reggie did. And he putting up 20 plus a game. Steph does that easily.
It would depend, I guess, on how they played Steph.
They push him down, Bob. That's
if
the thing.
Steph was if I think Isaiah's meaning like if he was a straight up pure point guard. If he didn't come off screens to take shots.
But you can't say that because that's his game.
Yeah, but I think that's what he means. I think that's what he means. Like if he played like a John Stockton, a guy that didn't come off screens for threes, or an Isaiah Thomas. Or point guards that we grew up watching, they didn't come off screens like that. They created their own shot.
And Steph, with his dribbling ability, can do the same.
I guess it depends on who's guarding him. That's all I'm going to say. It depends on who's guarding him.
Look, as much as I love Jordan and the 90s players, I've seen these players get cooked by people like Abdul Rahim and Dan Marley. And John Starks and like all these people who run around.
Everybody has one good night.
It wasn't one good night. They got, bro, they had problems with 3-point shooters back in the 90s because people wasn't expecting it.
I see what you mean by Raheem. I mean, he was a sneaky good player.
Like,
but
hey, man.
Look, it's hard to say because obviously we live in a different time now and we can't just have a time machine go back and have Curry be in the 90s.
Unless you play 2K.
Yeah, unless you play 2K. And I don't know. It depends on how they guard him. It's funny because I know you probably have TikTok. There's a guy on TikTok that does this exact thing. He puts players back in like 80s and the 90s and brings players to this year. And it's crazy how some of these players would dominate. But it's 2K again. But again, you would have to put it into retrospect on who's guarding them, how they're playing them, because it was a totally different ball game back in the 90s. Guys were getting laid out. Fights would happen. They would just move on to the next play. It just, I don't know. Could Curry last in the 90s?
I don't know how long he plays in the 90s, but his average will be over 25. Or it'll be at least 25.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, easy.
I don't know about that.
Here's the question: which players nowadays can make it in the 90s? A lot of them, dude. We'll say that for next week. A lot of them. 4 to 7. Oh, seasons. Okay, I thought you were talking about players. I was about to say, hold on.
I mean, I'll say this: there's more people that can play in the 90s now than there is now that can play in the 90s.
Say that again.
I think there's more players in the 90s that can play in today's era of basketball than there is today's era of basketball back in the 90s.
No.
Oh yeah.
No. Nope.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The talent is so different. Look, Jordan was ahead of his time. People like Jordan, Drexler, does Iverson last longer today? Iverson will kill today's NBA.
Iverson is a like different 30 beast, to 40 points a game now. Man.
Iverson is a different beast, man. Like Iverson can play in all of the eras. So let's just end that now. Iverson can play in any era. Yeah, man. It's a good maybe 2 handfuls I can name from the 90s that could be in the NBA and actually start today. Oh. Everybody else would be either out the league or role players, and I'm talking about some starters too.
Okay, this has to be a thing we do for the show. Yeah, I feel like you're underestimating the 90s.
No, I love the 90s, and look, I was the type where I was stubborn. I was like 90s this, early 2000s. I don't want to hear nothing else. I honestly think the early 2000s is the best era of the NBA. Honestly, that's just me.
I would agree with you.
But
early mid 2000s, I think mid 2000s when the NBA started to sort of get a little bit less defense and more helping out the offense.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll say that, but he say nowadays I think it's like 15, 20 players that can make the 90s, but I don't think they'll be starters. Man, all right, we'll say that for next week. That'll be a topic for next week because I'm finna shut all that down. Trust me, dude. I'm finna shut all that down. So we'll do that next week. The last one, we gonna go back to the 90s actually in the early 2000s. Shaq or Hakeem Olajuwon?
Oh man, that's tough.
Prime for prime.
Dude, in his prime, Shaq, dude, because you could, other than put him on the free throw line, there's no stopping Shaq. Hakeem was, dude, like, no disrespect to Hakeem, because that man could razzle dazzle you, make you look foolish.
David Robinson,
and he had that fadeaway jumper that was basically pretty much unstoppable. But dude, Shaq could just, oh my god, Shaq was just so dominant on both ends of the floor. In his prime, of course, I would have to go Shaq.
I'm gonna take Hakeem.
Okay.
As much as I like Shaq just did not stay consistent enough as far as taking it seriously, even in his prime. And that was always the problem with Kobe, because it's like, bro, you should be. Shannon Sharp just said it the other day, I believe. I saw a clip which it was like, it's no reason that Shaq shouldn't be the GOAT or in the top 3 GOAT conversation. He just didn't take it seriously enough. Like, he knew he was bigger than everybody. He didn't work on his free throws. He didn't work on anything outside of just being bigger. And that's what he did. Like, Hakeem, first of all, kept up with Shaq. He clowned him in the finals, even though that was young Shaq. People say young Shaq. Even though I'll be like, that young Shaq and Penny beat Jordan and Pippen, but whatever. Say that excuse for the people that want to take up for Shaq on that. Hakeem clowned him. Hakeem clowned all the greats back in the day. David Robinson, Alonzo Mourning. He was top 10 in steals. He's still top 10 in all-time steals as a center. He had a better mid-range game, better free throw shooter, better handles. Dream was probably better overall defender because he could guard more on the perimeter. All you got to do, which, what up, John? All you got to do against Shaq, which is something Tim Duncan started doing, was just stay out there, stay out the paint and shoot. Yeah. Tim Duncan was backboarding shots in non-stop against Shaq. You can't do that with Dream because Dream will come out there and guard you. So I'm going to take Hakeem on that. And that is the show today, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. YouTube, Twitch, and dopecontent.com if you're watching on that platform. Shout out to everybody. Tony, I'm going to go ahead and let you promote whatever you have to promote.
Nothing really, just the same old. We're live again tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite, SmackDown on Friday. If you guys are wrestling fans, we will be doing a giveaway in April for WrestleMania. Not sure what we'll be giving away, but we're gonna be doing some contests, some wrestling trivia to get you guys into the contest. So if you guys are interested in that, hit us up over on our channel, get the tables. And we'd love to have you guys here.
Nice. Speaking of AEW, real quick, what did you think of last week's show?
I thought Dynamite was very lackluster last Wednesday. The card was not great. It was a very weak card, in my opinion. Yeah. And I don't know. Their pay-per-view is about 2 weeks away, give or take. They got to do something, man, because the lack of storylines that they have going on right now in AEW is hurting them. Yeah. There's no one to really invest in other than a couple of people. AEW, I'm not saying that they're not putting on great shows, because they do. They put good shows on. There's just lack of storylines. And they repeat a lot of the same storylines as well. You got Bryan doing pretty much what he did, what Jericho had to do, and what Wardlow had to do. It's like they repeat a lot of the same storylines, and I just didn't think it was a very strong show last week. I think it lacked a little bit. in my opinion.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks for me has been meh. With AEW and Raw last night was kind of meh.
Yeah, Raw was not great last night. Coming off that pay-per-view, was not great, especially when it's kind of the beginning of the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was not a great start, in my opinion. And it does feel like, I think Bob Ruski mentioned it last night when we were watching it.
I don't think that's happening.
All their eggs are in the SmackDown basket, and Raw is kind of just there. Raw will get like good matches. We'll still get good matches, but the full attention is all on SmackDown. Like that's with the Roman stuff. Yeah. Rhea's gonna be on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's all the attention is fully on SmackDown. I doubt we'll see Roman on Raw. We'll probably see Rhodes mainly on SmackDown confronting Roman. And then the Omos stuff with Brock, which is so freaking random. And nobody, I mean absolutely nobody wants to see Omos versus Brock. And no disrespect to Omos. I don't think it's happening. I hope Brock is too big of a name to be facing a guy like Omos.
I don't think it's happening. I think that's just a distraction and Bobby's gonna like do something. I don't think that's happening. I refuse to believe
that's just a waste of Brock. Like that's a waste of using Brock for WrestleMania when there's so many different routes you can go.
Right.
You would want to go with Omos.
Right.
Like it's just not smart in my opinion. And I agree with Chomp Ass. Roman and Cody need to have a face-to-face pretty soon because
it'll be next week.
Heyman and Cody. I mean, Heyman was entertaining. I like the line with him talking about he'll keep Brandy warm. That shit made me laugh. But there's only so much you can do with Rhodes and Heyman. Eventually, you're gonna have to have Roman show up and have that encounter with Cody.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I think that's the last time they're gonna do that, and especially Cody's rebuttal was like, make that your last time sending him. Me and you got to go face to face, and then it felt forced. Like Heyman was just trying to get anything out of that crowd.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it either. But
I do like. I know people are not fans of Sami losing and the direction that they may possibly go with the Usos, having them face the Usos at WrestleMania. I did like how they didn't have Kevin automatically just forgive Sami.
Yeah,
like I like that. I like that we're getting a slow burn. With Sami and KO, that KO is not automatically gonna be like, all right, let's do this, hug it out, we're friends again. Kevin is not happy with Sami and his decisions, and he shouldn't be. And I'm glad that they're writing that out because I think it would kind of defeat the purpose of having them automatically be like friends again when we don't even know what's going on with Jay and the bloodline going on right now until at least Friday.
I got a theory of something that could possibly happen in this storyline, but I gotta wait till Sunday and watch the Budget Cup podcast on Sunday. And it might change up Friday.
Nice.
Yeah, but I got a theory. We'll see what happens Friday because Friday might change my theory. But for right now, I got a theory that something might happen, and it's gonna be something people are not expecting. But we'll get into that Sunday. Okay. For the Budget Cup podcast. Y'all already know this is always open for anybody to join the show. If you want to join, just come on through. This show, I meant to mention it earlier. If you want to join this show as well, all you got to do is hit the guest star on Twitch. Even if you don't want to do video, probably we're going to just bring you audio in anyway because I have the overlay set up for 2 people. So it's just going to be audio only for you anyway, but that'll be your way of calling in the show. And you know, instead of chatting, you could just hit guest star. We bring your audio in, and boom, there it is. So, much love to everybody, man. I hope y'all have a good day, good week. Make sure you join Get the Tables tomorrow on Twitch for AEW Dynamite Watch Along.
Absolutely.
And I started going back live Fridays too for SmackDown, but you know, no promises every week. So I'm gonna tell y'all to join Get the Tables on that as well. Because he is consistent with his.
We'll always rage you, man, if you're live afterwards.
So he's consistent on that as well. But appreciate the love for everybody, man. Y'all be safe. Check out dopecontent.com if you're not doing so. We have a marketing and everything on there. This will be uploaded on the sports page as well. So yeah, check us out. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll see y'all next time.
Peace out, everyone.
Peace.
Thanks, Dope.
Yes, sir.